In this webisode of WebShots featuring Mr. Michael Webba in the house, we are talking about the hanging corpse in the Haunted Mansion. Is it possible that Disney will actually get rid of it? We're going to talk about it. We're going to break it down. We're going to rant a little bit. Up next on WebShots on OG 54. Mr. Webba, take it away, sir.
I'm in the seat.
You're in the captain seat, sir.
Yes, sir. Hi, everybody. Welcome to this webisode of WebShots, and shout out to Kaylee with 2 E's. But yeah, so we're here to talk about the hanging corpse in the Haunted Mansion, and is it possible that it could be removed? Is that cool? In my opinion, no. OG, what say you, good sir?
Well, let's talk about it. And real quick before we dive in, WebShots members are aware of WebShots because there's been a couple of WebShot videos, but it's a show that Webba has here. That Webba has here on the channel that he's the host of, and it's little shorter videos, and whether it be rants or whether it be speculation or what have you. But yeah, that's WebShots. But let's talk about it. The Hanging Corpse, classic character in Disney's Haunted Mansion, gets a makeover, and it says here at the very bottom, the changes aren't complete at the mansion either. During the attraction's closure, some fans speculated that the Hanging Corpse in the stretching room would be removed. Kim Irvine noted that such change is possible. We're still looking at that. Kim Irvine said that one is complicated structurally, one thing at a time. End quote. Here's the thing, Eva. We talked about this on the phone.
Yeah,
this is crazy. This is classic Disneyland, right? This scene. Look, I understand and I'm sympathetic towards the idea behind what Disney is going with here, right? You have people that have a lot of mental health issues. I'm not exactly 100% myself. I do go to therapy for my anxiety. I do have diagnosed OCD. So I completely 100% sympathize with anyone struggling with any kind of mental health disorder. I understand that, my heart goes out, and I try to be, understanding and all that with anyone who has any kind of mental health problem. I don't know if removing this scene though is necessarily the answer. It's one of those things where it's like, how many complaints or how many issues does Disney get in City Hall about this? I would imagine it's very, very low, if any. I think that the better option, instead of removing it, would just be, maybe have a sign out front, saying, hey, this attraction features things that could possibly trigger a reaction in some people with mental health disorders, and things like that, and have a sign, make it very clear. And it's like you do like with the physical stuff, right? Like if you have a heart condition or a neck problem or a back problem, don't ride this ride. I think that would be sufficient signage for something like this. That's kind of where I'm at. I wouldn't get rid of it. I'm not against change. I think change is good for Disney, and I've always been an advocate of change, but I don't think this one is necessary. But what say you, Webba?
I agree, OG. Seriously, I'm not against change, right? But I have, and like what we talked on the phone, is that I'm okay with change as long as it's something that is as good or better than what was there previously. If it's not, I don't really want it. And that's just me. And that goes with really anything. This change too, it's like, come on, this is the Haunted Mansion, right? We're talking about ghosts, ghouls, goblins, witches and seances and stuff like that. Like, we're talking about the mansion of 999, happy haunts, right? How do ghosts become ghosts? Unfortunately, people die, and that's the thing I loved was that, Disney during this time of like Haunted Mansion and Pirates, Disney wasn't really scared to dive into these darker aspects. And that's what I love about, the Haunted Mansion is that it's a darker element of Disney.
Right.
But it's still a very fun attraction, It's also, it has some silliness in it too, and that's what Walt Disney wanted, something that's a little bit silly, but also some spookiness in it as well, not something one or the other.
Yeah. And that was a challenge for a lot of the Imagineers actually at that time, was getting that balance of like, it's creepy and scary, but at the same time has that light fun thing. That was one element of this attraction that the Imagineers had a really difficult time balancing, and they did a really good job. But go ahead. I do apologize.
No, exactly. And with the hanging corpse there's something about that hanging corpse compared to other attractions where you're still standing. Like it's pretty much still a pre-show, but for me, the attraction still starts.
Yeah.
And there's something about standing there looking at like a corpse just hanging there, part of the attraction. It's something that it brings more of like a kinetic physicality to it.
Right.
And I really like that more. You're being more immersed into the story, into the attraction itself. And I really like that. I don't think we really have anything else like that in a Disney attraction. Um, and again, it really does hit home to like, us being mortal beings, right? Death is upon every living creature and every person, and whether you're poor, old, young, rich, famous, whatever, you all face it eventually.
Yeah. No,
And
100%. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
oh, no, go ahead. Go ahead. Finish what your thought was.
Well, no, you're right. I mean, it is a fact of life. You can't have life without death, right? Everyone eventually ends up dying. And like I said earlier on in the show, the mental health thing is an issue for a lot of people, and I think we can be sensitive and understanding toward people that have those issues. But I think a sign or something along those lines would be more than enough. Also, you have to understand something too, where it's like, where do you stop with this, right? Like
Right.
when you start to get into this thing where it's like, okay, well, this might affect certain people. Okay, so should we get rid of the burning town and pirates because we had the LA fires? What
Yeah.
about people who lost their home? Is that insensitive to have that? Should we get rid of that? You get to a point now where you're being very reactive. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? And I think Disney has to play this a little bit smarter. Obviously, like I said, I want to make it very clear because you have to be sympathetic and respectful towards people that do have those issues. At the same time, though, you don't want to do whack-a-mole with everything in the park that could potentially offend somebody, or I mean, like I said, with the fire and the pirates or stuff like that. There has to be a balance here and a little bit of like, a judgment call. And I think it's a slippery slope that you can really go too far with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, exactly. And I love that you mentioned that because it's like, at what point does it get too much, right? Okay, well, first we're gonna do this. And then, oh, this other thing over here, that's too offensive, it's too dark, whatever. We're gonna remove that because from who knows where it comes from, people are outcrying about this particular scene. Like I personally don't know who's upset about the hanging corpse scene. Again, you're saying, right? I agree, we do have to be sensitive to these topics.
Right.
However, when I was a kid, you know, that yeah, it kind of scared me a little bit, but I still liked it. And I've never heard any complaints ever. I mean, maybe Disney probably at the parks they do here and there, so maybe they have, but I've never known anybody who I've talked to my entire life who has complained about the fire in the pirate scene or the hanging corpse scene. Like we understand that's part of the story and part of the attraction.
Right.
Um, and I just don't know why that they would be looking at getting rid of that, other than we want to be really rated G, you know. And it's like, okay, I get it. You're a family entertainment company. At the same time, though, however, we can't just be always hiding and blocking stuff off that's a bit more greedy, a bit more dark, a bit more um death-y, if that's even a word.
Yeah.
It's like,
This is real
stuff
life,
happening.
Yeah, real stuff. Real stuff happens, and
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
and it just kind of annoys me because like you were saying, how come we can't have like a warning? Like how these attractions, they always have a warning. This attraction contains flashiness or whatever. You don't ride if you're this or that.
right.
On the Disney Plus shows or movies, they'll have like kind of caution, like warning stuff about insensitivities on the movie or show. Do the same thing for the attraction as well. So that way people know and it's already out there. And that way you don't have to go about removing a classic iconic scene in a classic attraction, such as the Haunted Mansion.
Right.
Okay. The Haunted Mansion, folks. Right? I mean,
Yeah.
come
Yeah, it's
on.
a classic scene. It's a classic scene. Like, you put the signage, you put the warnings, whatever you got to do, Disney, but don't get rid of it. Don't get rid of it. I would even honestly say most people don't even see it. A lot of people don't even really pay attention. Like the normies, they
Yeah.
go through there and all the stuff happens, doors open, they walk out.
Doors open, they walk.
Yeah, they're like, okay, here we go, let's go. So it's like it's really an unnecessary kind of response, I think. And like I said, this is coming from someone I have anxiety. I do have these issues, bad enough that I go to therapy for it. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like I'm, like trying to be like dismissive of people that have that disorder, because I'm not. Believe me, I'm not. I really do sympathize with anyone who had it. It is not fun, especially if you're to that point where that kind of scene would trigger you. Right. So I get it, you know what I'm saying? But you have to, like, as a theme park operator, like a company like Disney, you have to like kind of balance this stuff, like, what do you do? Like, are you going to not have death scenes in movies because, people like that might upset somebody who lost their grandma, or like, at what point does this stop? You know what I'm saying? You have to figure it out and kind of balance that. At the end of the day, though, I don't think this is going to happen. I don't think they're going to remove it. I really don't.
I don't think so either, especially with the comment that was made about the structure, like the structure. It seems like that would be a huge headache to do. Especially because we just had a Haunted Mansion closed for how long? And even if they were to do it, it wouldn't be for a good while, I think. But yeah, I agree with you. I don't think they will do it because it just seems like it's too much a pain in the butt. I don't think there's enough outcry for this to be removed personally. But yeah, OG, I just want to end off on this note that Mr. Webba does not agree with removing the scene from the Haunted Mansion. It is the Haunted Mansion. I do agree you could have a warning on it. Sure, go ahead. But Disney, please do not remove it. OG, any final thoughts before we web shot out of here?
No, I'm glad that WebShots is finally for everybody, right? We had a couple episodes, a couple webisodes, thanks to Kaylee for that one. Webisodes. We had a couple webisodes for the members, but nothing for everybody yet. So this is the first WebShots for the main channel proper, basically, So it's a fun show, Webba. I want to thank you for having me on. Look forward, everybody, to more of these WebShots and even WebBaVision also.
Coming soon, everybody, WebBaVision. And that will be actually a longer format of, it could be in part stuff. It could be me and OG, a panel of the crew. Yes. That's going to be WebBaVision.
WebBaVision. Well, take it away, Webba. I'll let you close us out today.
All right, OG 55. Thank you so much, for being on and joining me today with this discussion that I am actually kind of really passionate about. We had that phone call. Yep. But yeah, this is awesome having our first web shots publicly for everybody. Thank you so much for joining, and thank you for everybody for watching. OG, where can everybody find you on social media, sir?
You can find me at the club. Woke up looking for the broccoli. No, I was kidding. No, you can find me on Instagram. I'm actually more on Instagram now than anything. Instagram, Orange Girl 55. Check me out there. You can check me out on X. I rarely tweet anymore. I'm not into that platform. Like I said, I got anxiety. I go to therapy. Like X is the last place I need to fucking be. You know what I'm saying? Seriously, like it's enough. So yeah, I'm on Instagram looking at memes and big titties or whatever they have on Instagram. And yeah, you can find me there, and you can also find me here on OG55.
There he goes, everybody. OG the man right there. Make sure to like and subscribe because this guy's the best. And also remember, become a member of the channel. You get awesome content.
Exactly. You get more Webba. You get more. If you become a member, you get more web shots. You know what I'm saying? So check it out, everybody.
Peace.
Thank you for watching OG55. If you aren't already, consider becoming a member today.